Okay. Okay. Fine. So welcome back, everyone. Let's move on to talking about how we can really achieve this. Okay. So we just discussed this shared pool of meaning, and how do we now get to that place of shared pool of meaning and start deriving a meaning out of the dialogues that we are having. Okay. So the techniques to navigate these crucial conversations. Okay. I have just listed it down. I'm going to go a little bit in detail with all of that. Start with heart, or start with yourself, coming from a positive intention and empathy. Learn to look when the mutual respect is lost and the safety is at risk. Make it safe for people to share uh, their own meanings to this pool. Don't get hooked by emotions. Avoid getting charged. Master your stories. Explores others' paths and move to action as to who's going to do what and by when. Okay. So if we start with the heart, now the first thing that we need to always do in any kind of a dialogue or getting into any kind of a conversation is to manage our own emotions and our own mindset. If we are not coming with the positive intent, if we are not coming with a goodwill for the others, we would not be able to sail through any kind of a conversation. And the best place to begin with, and in any case, it is much easier to change yourself and look at yourself before we actually look at others, because we hardly know the other person. So it's a lot more easier to change self than the other person. Starting with open conversation, start the conversation with an open mind and create a space of mutual respect. And it is always possible to deal with the other person with respect, even though you would have differences, you would have difference of opinions. What you actually need to ask yourself before you start off with any kind of a dialogue is, what do I really want for myself from this dialogue? What do I really want for the others? And what do I really want for this particular relationship? So if you really want the relationship, whether it is with your boss, with your spouse, with your girlfriend, with your kids, anybody, if you want that relationship to be strong, you would definitely make sure that you come out of these dialogues, make these dialogues in such a way that they are respectful to the others as well as to us. Now, let me share a small example with you. And I would want to know from all of you that, how would you handle a situation like this? So you have been planning for a vacation from a long time. It's been really due from a very, very long time. And you decide that, now it's been enough and let's take this break. And that foreign trip, the lucrative one, has been just hanging there, and you just want to do it. And you decide that, okay, fine. So today is the time. Let's all get together, sit down and just decide on a vacation place. And you call your spouse, you call your kids and anybody else who's there in the family who is going to be important for that particular decision, and you start off discussing the vacation plan. And all of a sudden your elder child says that, oh, what's the plan, what's the point in doing this entire thing? I mean, you always go do all of these plannings but we hardly go anywhere. And all of a sudden there is a quiet all around. Now, if you are in such a space, how would you handle this particular conversation? Just put in one word, one sentence in the chat box, and let me just have a look as to how would you handle this particular conversation. Am I audible to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So how would you handle a conversation like this? Take a minute, just think about it. How would you handle a conversation like this? You are all so happy, charged up, ready to go on a vacation, and then all of a sudden, Somebody says this. Cheer up everyone to be active in discussion. Okay. We first respect child idea and explain the reason to say why it all stopped earlier. Okay. 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 Anybody else? Please repeat the situation. Okay, Felix, what the situation that I had given was that you are all geared up and for a vacation, and you are sitting with your family ready to discuss a vacation plan, and everything is just going right for you, and all of a sudden your elder one says that, you know, I mean, what is the plan, what is the point of planning any of these things, because we hardly ever execute anything, and the only thing that we ever do is just plan and then keep dropping the plans. How would you handle a conversation like this? Okay, can I request everyone to please mute their audios? Please mute the audio, everyone. Can everyone please mute their audios? Okay, it's always the intuition of child in us that makes us creative. Okay, explain them that everything needs planning, but sometimes they don't work. Okay. Okay. Any other suggestions coming in? Okay, so I'm going to leave this at this point here, and we are going to see how we, take it forward from here. Assure him by saying that we should make it work as a team. Okay, ask the child why he's saying so. Okay, fine. So we are already on our way to, making some good crucial conversations and following the tactics. I give you another situation. You are a part of a senior leadership team, and in the COVID times, the company has not really been doing very well, and you have been getting a mandate, you have got a mandate from your top management, that, the cost cutting has to be done, and you want, so you call everybody from your team, all the heads are there, the head of sales, the head of IT, the production guys, everybody's there, and you need to come up with a cost cutting plan, or otherwise you might have to just lay off a lot of people. Now, while you are in the thick of this discussion as to how and what can we do, the sales head gets up and says that, while we are discussing all of this, but let me bring another point to you, that while we are talking and discussing about cost cutting, how exactly are we making a new office, which is actually taking away, which is costing us a lot of money at this point of time. And the moment the sales head says this, the conversation, the discussion just stops, and everybody's looking at you. And everybody's looking at you because you are in charge of this discussion, and they want an answer to it. And how exactly are you going to be answering this? Take a minute or so, just think about it. Not necessarily an office situation. If somebody is not really exposed to the work situation, just take it as a family situation where you need to do a very tight budgeting for your house, and one of the family members just comes up and says that, we have been talking about tight budgets and all my expenses are being thrown out of the window, but what about your expenses? You seem to be going for a shopping every second day, and how do you handle it? Can I have the answers, please, coming in the chat box? Because it becomes a lot more easier if concentrate on need and work from home. Okay. Work from home. Okay. Planning and prioritizing your budget. Okay. But how are you going to handle the conversation? That is the solution to what you're going to do. But when this conversation comes up, what exactly are you going to do? Calm down everyone and tell each one of them to list down the expenses incurred on the monthly basis for 1 year, and to check which all expenses can be reduced. Okay. We have to set an example by taking a cut ourselves. Okay. Okay. At any time, if a person is in a negative state of mind, they have to keep silence. Okay. gain more. And Paul sir, I'm going to talk about this, that's exactly what you're not supposed to be doing. That's not a healthy conversation. It's not a healthy way of conversation to keep silent, because that means that you are withdrawing gradually from the conversation itself. Okay, gain more clarity from your sales head. Okay, but Felix, we are already saying here that the sales are already going down and we are still coming up with a new office. Explain the idea and try to convince the need of the hour. Okay, fine. Pandemic is real, so time for both corporate and employee. It's our team up time to support the idea to keep the swing on. Yes, Mangai, that's exactly what we are talking about. But here, when we are talking about cost cutting for everybody and we are coming up with a new expensive office, which is costing us a bomb, how can we keep that discussion on? Be open and using flow chart, explain the budget. Okay. Fair enough. Let the ideas keep coming in. I'm not going to touch it at the moment. I've just given you two situations. Just keep thinking, how exactly are we going to be talking about it? Okay. So the first thing which I said was that we will start with the heart. So we are there in this conversation with a positive intent, with a very, emotionally strong. We are there in this conversation. Whether we are in the situation of the office, or whether we are in the situation of the house and planning the vacation. In either case, we are there with our complete good intent, and that's what is going to give us a good beginning. Okay. Okay. Now, whenever there is a situation like this, it is very important to let the communication keep flowing. Okay. Because the moment something like this happens, and now when we are thinking about it and when we are answering, at times it becomes easy for us to say that, think about it, and we are going to convince the other person, and we are going to really hear him out, and we are going to give the reasons. But in actual, what actually happens is, in a situation like this, we simply and very, very suddenly, it all becomes about saving ourselves. All of a sudden we feel very threatened. We have been put in the spotlight. We feel very threatened, and the focus of the dialogue gets lost somewhere, and the focus now is on proving myself correct. So whether it's the office situation, of where I need to kind of give a justification, whether it's the office situation or it is the vacation situation. In either of the situation, what actually, and in most of the cases, what actually happens is that the entire issue is left aside, and we just end up getting into the flow of who's right and who's wrong, and why this is happening and why that is not happening. Now, in order to make this conversation work, and threatening each other and name calling and trying to win the situation is definitely not going to take us anywhere. So in order to keep this dialogue on, it's very important that we just let the communication flowing. And we also need to realize here at this point of time that where the flow of the dialogue is it getting in danger. Okay? So we need to learn to look for cues where the safety is at risk. The safety of the entire dialogue is at risk. So what we will try to do in such a situation, one, because we know from where we are beginning. If you remember the last slide that I said, what do you want? So what you need to do is you just need to quickly remind yourself, what do you really want for yourself from this particular dialogue? What do you really want from the others in this particular dialogue? And what do you want for this particular relationship? These three are the guiding questions that you need to remind yourself the moment you realize that that dialogue has moved into the danger zone. Okay? So you need to learn to look at the content and the condition both. Now, in both these conditions, the content also changed and the condition would also change if everybody is looking at you for the answer, and all of us are in the spotlight, the conditions around you have changed. Would actually talk about whether you stay in the dialogue or whether you have been thrown out of the dialogue altogether. So you need to be very, very vigilant. You need to look out for the content and the conditions of the dialogue. You need to see when things start getting crucial. And when do they start getting crucial? When the emotions are running high, when the opinions are two opposing or opposing opinions start coming in, and when the stakes become really high. You need to learn to watch for any kind of a safety issue. So does that mean, if we refer back to the last slide, does that mean that all of a sudden the people have started either masking or withdrawing or becoming silent? So we need to see, are they moving towards the zone of silence or they're moving towards the zone of violence? Are they pushing across their point, or have they decided to keep quiet and not really contribute anything at the moment? And we also need to see what is our style of communication when we are under that kind of a stress. Do I take it like as a person and I start proving myself, I start threatening the others, you don't know, for me this is important, I need to win this conversation? What is your style when you all of a sudden encounter a stress situation like this? When you learn to look at these situations, you will be able to keep yourself in the dialogue, and you will be able to gradually sail through this crucial conversation. Are you all with me till now? Is it making sense to whatever I'm saying? If there's anyone who feels that, not being able to, or if there's something that you would want to add on, please let me know. Your voice is low. Okay, thanks, Shweta. Am I audible now properly? Okay. If there's
Yes, ma'am.
anywhere where you're not being able to understand, if there's something that you would want me to highlight once again. So as of now, there are two things which I said. One, that you need to come with a very positive intent to stay in the dialogue. And the other thing is this, that you need to stay in the dialogue, and to stay in the dialogue, you need to look at situations when the safety of that dialogue is endangered, or when the dialogue itself comes under the danger zone. Okay. The next thing that you need to do is, when you've realized that the dialogue itself has come into the danger zone, you need to make it safe. You need to make it safe, not just for yourself, but also for people around, so that they feel safe in a conversation. Only when somebody is feeling safe in a conversation will that person be able to put across his or her opinion freely without really feeling inhibited. And only in that case will you have a bigger pool of shared meanings from where you will be able to make a better informed choice and decision about what you would want to do. So since we are approaching this dialogue, it becomes important for us to realize what is the purpose for seeking this particular dialogue. What was the mutual purpose? Why did we come together for this particular dialogue? What was the purpose behind this entire strategy of getting into a dialogue, and let's have this dialogue because this is important right now? Invent a mutual purpose. In case if you feel that, you have not been able to figure out what is the mutual purpose, because till the time there is no mutual purpose, there is no point of being in that dialogue. Until that time, you do not invent that mutual purpose if it is not already existing. So if it is already existing, you need to identify it, you need to recognize the purpose behind it, you need to invent it, and then you need to brainstorm strategies as to how you can build up on that mutual purpose. The moment you realize that any conversation or any dialogue is becoming unsafe, what we actually need to do is, and the sooner this is done, the better it is, step out of the conversation and observe it. It might sound a little utopian. How do I step out of the conversation? But that's exactly what I meant when I said this is more of a practicing thing than a theory thing. Because here, it is more about practicing what you are and what the others are talking. And the moment it shifts gears, when that dialogue shift gears, is what you need to be observant, vigilant about. And that's exactly what you need to observe. And the moment you realize that now this has moved towards an unsafe zone, because the moment the dialogue moves towards the unsafe zone, you would not be able to reach to your end goal, which you have in mind when you started off with that dialogue. So the moment it becomes unsafe, the moment you realize that somebody is becoming silent, somebody is becoming violent, somebody is calling out names, somebody is not contributing at all, please take a pause, step out of the conversation, observe it, realign yourself, and then readdress that entire issue. It is our prime responsibility at this point of time to reestablish the safety that is being questioned. Because if we do not do that, we would invariably fall prey to basically the charged emotions leading nowhere. So we need to step out at this particular time, and the sooner we realize it, because the later we realize, the cost gets higher. You know, you are at the verge of losing somebody who's a loved one, losing a deal, not being able to negotiate properly, all of those things. So the moment you realize that this conversation is becoming unsafe, and I gave you the signs as to where the conversation becomes unsafe, when you actually start moving away from the purpose for which
Excuse me,
yeah, who's this?
I'm Sanj.
Yeah, Sanj, tell me.
What if a conversation is always starting with has a violent start, and
Okay.
then someone comes and pulls you out of that conversation forcefully?
Okay. Good question, Sanj. I'll just park it for the moment. Let me just finish with this entire line of sharing the techniques. And I'm going to tell you what happens if somebody is only going to start with a violent beginning. And that's very true because, you know, we always have people coming in with their own meanings. And I'm going to talk about it. Just give me a, just park it for the moment. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So now, the moment we have, so we have already realized that the dialogue has become unsafe, the conversation has become unsafe. What do we do next? Very simple, make it safe. And how do we make a dialogue safe? Listening is the skill which comes in very, very handy here. Okay. No rocket science again. You just need to listen, but you need to listen very, very attentively. Okay.
हाँ
You
चलेगा
need to listen. You
खेल
need to listen. Can I, there's somebody who's not on the mute. Can I just request you to be on the mute, please? Okay. So please listen with all your empathy, all your positive intent. If you realize that there is somebody who is not contributing, has gone silent, please, in a very polite manner, just call that person back in the dialogue. Just ask what is the other person's view on this particular thing. Just let's mirror what everybody is saying. You know, mirroring is a technique which we do when we are listening, just in order to make it more relevant. We just kind of, you know, just say, so okay, what you're trying to say is that, you know, this particular cost cutting measure is not going to work out because we have already invested in a, we are already putting in a lot of money in the office. Just mirror, confirm the feelings or the emotions which the people around you are actually facing. Paraphrase, acknowledge whatever is being discussed there. Okay, so what I feel with all the discussion that's happening here, so all of you, the way I look at it is that all of you feel that we are putting in a lot of money in the new office that is coming up, and that's the reason why cost cutting is becoming difficult. Am I right? Ask ask people to come back in the dialogue. As I said, you know, it's just as simple as, Richa, you have not been saying anything, would you want to share something to this particular dialogue? That sentence itself is going to bring the person back into the conversation, will make the person feel safe to give his or her opinion and contribute to the shared pool of meaning. And time and again, I'm saying it is very important to contribute in that shared pool of meaning, because that is where you are going to get the bigger picture of the entire thing. And that is where your action items are going to be coming from. So it is important that everybody put in their opinions, their views in that particular pool, so that it is there for everyone to see, discuss, and come out with a solution which is working for everyone. Okay, so you ask, you mirror, you paraphrase, and you prime. Because if you feel that somebody has been holding back from a long time, has not been able to add much of a meaning to the pool, do it. Once you've stepped out, once you've realigned yourself, add meaning to that pool. Let's not deviate from this discussion. I understand, that there is a very expensive office coming up. What can we do? How can we bring down the cost? That is the immediate concern. Bring it out. Put that in the meaning. Let people again get back to the discussion from where they had lost it. So make it safe. Start listening in a more attentive manner. Okay. Again, very, very important. When the emotions are flying high all around us, we are humans. We are not bots. We are not machines. We tend to get into the emotions. We tend to get charged up because the situation around becomes too hot to handle. This is where again the practicing part of it comes. Is this what we are looking at? I am here to discuss the venue of the vacation. I am not here to discuss why my plans have never worked and why am I so bad at executing things, or to justify or to say that, oh, you are too young to understand what we are talking about and just don't get into the discussion. That's not the purpose. So just keep focus on the end goal. What is it that with which you had begun with? What was that big end goal that you had in mind? Refuse to play the game. You will be able to refuse to play this game only when you realize when the conversation becomes crucial. You step out of it. That's the time when you say, I am not giving in to this. This is not what I am here for. And don't give in to the fool's choice of either being silent or being violent, because that's not why you are there for. You are there because you want to make sense. You want to come to a mutual decision. You want to have some actionable items. You want to resolve an issue. That's the reason why you are in that conversation. Do not forget that end goal. So every time when the conversation goes out of, it gets derailed, that's what you need to remind yourself. So the other situation which I was talking about, and when I asked you that, how would you handle a situation where all of a sudden in between the entire leadership meet that is happening, somebody just gets up and says, but the other office is, coming up, which is so expensive. What do you do? And you refuse to give in to that emotional charge at that point of time. What you actually do is you acknowledge the person for bringing such a valid point on the table. How much ever your inner urge says that, you need to win this conversation, you are not in the game of winning and losing because you've got bigger stakes. So you acknowledge, and then you move on from acknowledging to saying that, okay, yes, we did not realize that, the office might cost us this much, or we did realize, but that's the reason why the cost cutting is necessary. And then you get back everybody in the conversation, because that's what you are there for. So please, do not get hooked up into the emotions. Share your facts, tell your stories, ask what others are, what is their stories, what are they looking at. Talk tentatively. You don't have to push your point, and encourage more opposing ideas, because sometimes you never know, even the most inappropriate looking idea might just come up and might just hit the bullseye. So allow people, invite them to kind of, put in their ideas there. Okay. And last but not the least, learn to separate your facts from the stories that get created. So what are stories? When as a communication trainer, I often say that, when you're handling data, you need to actually, give shape to that data in the form of stories. But when you are in a crucial dialogue like this, that is where you need to learn how you are going to segregate your data, that is the fact, and the story. Because story is something which can be inferred, which can be, and everybody can have their own stories. But here we are not going to get into the story part of it. Why? Because again, if we get into the story part of it, we would have different views of the same fact that is being said. So here, when we are in a crucial conversation, we will only stick to the fact part of it, not the story part of it. So do not play games of, being a victim, being a villain, being helpless. Look out, watch out. Are you being a victim to this? Oh my God, I didn't even realize that this has happened with me. You are the one who did this to you, a villain story. I was not aware of this. It's the sales team which didn't even tell me, it's the accounts team which didn't even tell me how much the budget is for coming up with the new office. What can I do now? This is what I have been able to do. So get over from those helpless stories. We don't need them. And whenever there are these different stories floating, just remember, even when there are different things floating around, there would be areas on which you can agree. Okay? That's where we need to focus. We need to focus on areas where we all agree. We need to build upon the areas on which we are agreeing. We don't have to get into who's right and who's wrong. We just need to accept that we all are coming with different opinions on this. And then we need to begin from there again if the conversation is going haywire. Okay. And then final thing is to agree on a clear plan of action. Who is going to do what, when, what are the timelines, who are the people responsible, how do we get this thing done, who are the decision makers, who are the major stakeholders, get them into the dialogue and get to the actionable plan, because that is the end result. That is what we are aiming at. So we do this entire thing before. So I'll just give you just the flow. Before, what happens is I work on myself. I make sure that, I come with a positive intent. I start with the heart. I am emotionally, physically, mentally, all sound. I make sure that my stories are separated from the facts. I only come up with the fact. During the conversation, I bring in my opinions. I, encourage others to bring in their opinions, make safe for them, allow them to put it in the pool, in a pool of shared meaning. And from there, we move to action, where we tell them that this is how, who is going to do what, and by when this is going to be done. So this is basically the flow of crucial conversation. And if they are handled properly, we get a breakthrough. And if they are not handled properly, we create a breakdown. And that's what we will be aiming at. That's all from my side. I really don't know how much of it I could, give you the techniques that we have been talking about, but follow these techniques. They are very, very practical. They are a part of, getting into conversations and getting crucial conversations done. And in case if you would want to get in touch with me, please feel free. My number is right here on the screen, 777-400-7094. I would be more than happy to work along with all of you and, see more things happening on the area of communication. If there's anything that I have missed out, I'm sure a lot of you would have a lot of questions. I can see there are a lot of questions. In case if somebody has it, you can just send it to me. I am on this number on a WhatsApp as well, and I would just love to communicate with all of you again. If there's anything else, you can just unmute yourself at the moment and you can share it. Thank you so much. You all have been lovely audience, and I just hope I could just make that slight difference that I was aiming to make. Thanks a lot.
What is the answer to my question?
Yeah, so Sanj, just to kind of, answer your question, whenever there's somebody who is coming with a very violent this thing, you remember the first thing that I told you was that, people would come with different opinions and we need to allow them to come in and put in their opinion. So we need to understand what opinions, what views are they coming up with. We need to hear them out. We need to come to a common platform where they can just kind of, put in their ideas, put in their views. What is that violence? What is it that they are bringing? We need to hear that out and then try to understand how we take this dialogue to the next level. So if somebody is coming charging at you, violently, we need to just understand, ask that person to settle down, calm down, and then tell you why exactly is that person getting so violent about the entire thing. And then you need to take it up from there, trying to understand what his or her point of view is. I hope that clarifies, Sanj. In case not, just ping me personally.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Richa. I have no time for, there is no time, sufficient time for vote of thanks, but in available time, I thank you for a valuable session, and also thanks all the participants. All are welcome. I just want to remind all of you that we have, e-journal coming up. So please do write articles and send your details of your upcoming knowledge sharing session for September. So thanks to all of the people. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot to all the participants.